Hello, my name's Adam Gary and I'm a writer and a poet and a YouTuber and an Instagram man. Today I'm going to give you some things to think about if you really want to capture your readers and have them hold them in the palm of your hands. This topic came in from one of my followers on Instagram a couple of months ago. I put out a post and in the description asked what you guys wanted to see, and Tanya's suggestion is the first one I'm making a video about. So let's get into it. So then, tip 1. Write like you speak. In both poetry and fiction, you have to be writing the way you speak. It is the quickest and easiest way to capture your audience. I don't know about you, but when I'm reading an academic book that's filled with long words that are never used in day-to-day life, for me it's a struggle to get through. I end up reading the same page about 5 times before I even take in 1% of what the author is trying to say. If your readers are tripping up over your words, trying to figure out what kind of mouthful they just had to digest, you'll lose them before the first comma or full stop.
But what if I want to talk?
Talk it. I do it all the time in my Kerouac-esque spontaneous prose. Just make sure you use language that you use in everyday modern life, that's all. I thought we might have gotten away with the rain, but it's back with a vengeance. I really hope I can, quieten the rain down in edit. Tip 2. Be open and honest with your audience and give yourself over to them. Okay, let me be frank for a moment. How do you expect your readers to relate to you if you're not willing to give yourself up to them 100%? Just so we're clear, signing up to be a poet means that your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts and your story no longer belongs to you. As a poet, you reach the hearts and souls of people across the globe by giving them up. I get so many inboxes on my Instagram from people who have read one of my pieces and messaged me and said they connected to my poem so much and really related to it that they had to reach out. So many people have reached out and shared their grief and their problems with me, even though they barely know my name, because they've read a poem of mine where I've tried to give myself 100%, everything I was feeling, everything I was thinking. And so when they read that, they see in me a part of them, which compels them to reach out and to follow you, and that's how you compel them. If I had written a poem where I didn't really give myself up, just wrote a poem that was so broad about an emotion that everyone feels, and I hadn't given myself honestly to that poem and therefore to my audience, nobody would reach out. Trust me. They might see it on their Instagram feed and might be like, oh yeah, okay, and then carry on scrolling. So be prepared to go deep and be more honest in your poems than you might ever have been in real life. Three. When looking for inspiration, don't just see what's going on around you, but observe what's going on around you. This will come in really handy when you're implementing tip 5, but more on that later. It is so easy to write poems about something you saw in the park that you thought was cute. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Good poems can come from that. But great poems come forth when you really sit back and observe what was going on. Look deeper and question what you're seeing. What could be the deeper meaning behind what you saw? As a writer and or poet, just so you know, you have to be keeping a notepad with you at all times so that you can make little notes on what you've observed that day. This can be as simple as the Notepad app on your phone. Tip 4. Use Poetic Techniques.
Oh, here we go again.
It's okay. I won't go into too much detail about this because I know people love rebelling against techniques, and I've done a video about techniques in my video about poetry for beginners. So if you really want to know about techniques, you can head there. But if you take the time to write in a meter, doesn't matter which one, even just taking the time to make sure it flows nicely, your reader will be more hooked with your poem because subconsciously they're enjoying the flow. Humans love music, right? It means that your reader doesn't have to do too much work with trying to figure out how the poem should sound. It's already in there subconsciously. Also, a rhyme is great to hear. I'm trying so hard not to repeat the same joke that I said last time. And automatically makes people smile. Tip 5. Be relatable by being specific. People love comedy, they say. And they're not wrong, of course. It's always great to get people smiling and laughing. But if you're relatable and use all the other tips I've given you in this video, you could write the darkest poem that's ever been written and still capture your audience. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, go back to tips 1 and 2. Well, actually, go back to all of them. But second, and here's where a lot of people get muddled up. So many people, myself included at times, think the broader their poem is, the more people it will reach and kind of relate to. But no, wrong. It's actually the reverse. The more specific you are with your poem, the more curious your reader will be and want to keep reading. Strangely, the more specific you are in your piece about how you was feeling or an experience in your life, the more your reader will think back to an experience in their life and relate. If you're so broad as to say, I don't know how to forget you, I wish I'd never told you anything, our love was forbidden and I never got over it. It's so broad that nobody even gives a fuck. Get into the nitty-gritty. For example, and I just wrote this 5 minutes ago before filming this video, so go easy on me please, it's not perfect, I know. We stood on either side of the room at the New Year's party. Our eyes locked as you sipped your glass of wine, and I was reminded of the nights we spent emptying a bottle and playing cards of humanity, mocking humanity. And then your eyes met the ground, mine still locked on you, and I saw, like me, our times are yet to be forgotten. I wish I'd never told you anything. I wish I'd never uttered the words of how you made me feel that night. I wish that I could have gone on pretending like life was just a dream where I could lay in your arms locked away, never to be disturbed. But you held my cheek that night, red wine blanketing your lips, and you told me how different a dream it was for you. And in 5 words you bulldozed everything I had struggled to build, as you whispered through ever blushing cheeks, I can't do this anymore. So remember, 1. Write like you speak. 2. Be honest. 3. Observe. Don't just see. 4. Poetic techniques are friends, not foes. 5. Be specific. It's a very important one. As with all my tip videos and all my tips, if you spend enough time consciously implementing these tips, soon enough you'll be sitting at your desk doing all of this without even thinking about it. It'll be muscle memory. So many people spend time worrying about how to write a piece that will captivate the audience that they forget to just be real. And it's in being real that the work stands out. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want more tips and tricks like this, I'm here every Tuesday, so make sure you click subscribe. Otherwise I'll cry. Please don't make me cry. I'm also on Instagram. I have been for a while, so there's plenty of content on there as well for you. So go and give me a follow on Instagram and let's chat poetry. See you next week.
I love my sunglasses, but my sunglasses do not love me. So I broke them, but they broke me.